Hey, what's going on? Aaron Chen here. Hope you're doing well. If you're watching this video right now, you might be checking out Skillshare, and perhaps you're wondering how much you can get paid to actually teach on Skillshare. Okay, so in this review of Skillshare, let's talk about the platform. I'm going to talk about, whether this is a good way for you to earn money online. Should you be creating an online course? And is Skillshare a good website for you to upload that online course to make money? Through teaching people whatever you're trying to teach. All right. So Skillshare is a very established platform, and if you come here and log on, you can see that you can literally teach in all sorts of different areas. So whether it's animation or creative writing or illustration or music, photography, there's obviously different areas as well, like business and marketing, and they basically have lots and lots of different areas that you can teach. So for example, if it was freelance and entrepreneurship, we could click on that, and there are all sorts of different skills related to that, right? So it's a very, very cool platform. They've got a lot of teachers. And the way it works is, if you are a user, that means you're somebody that wants to learn, you would actually log onto their platform and you would pay for it. And it's very cheap. It's only $2 a month, which is $24 per year. And you get access to all of their training, okay? So that's if you're a user and you want to learn from their platform. But if you're watching this and you're thinking of becoming a teacher and selling on their platform, let's take a look at what it takes to become a teacher. How much can you make? That's a very important question, and how does this really work, okay? So if you come onto this page right here, you can see that they say that their top teachers earn 100,000 US dollars plus per year, okay? But the very important thing to understand is they're talking about their top teachers. So not everybody earns $100,000 a month. Only their top teachers earn $100,000 a month. So let's talk about how this actually works, how they calculate how much they actually pay you, and what's the realistic number that you can expect, okay? So if we come onto this page right here, the way that Skillshare actually calculates how much you actually get paid is really by the minutes watched, okay? So the way that this works is it's kind of like Spotify. All right, so if you download Spotify, the way that it works is it's based on how many minutes that people are listening to your music, right? Well, on Skillshare, it's very similar. So the way it works is 30% of their earnings gets put into the teaching pool where you can make money, and then based off of how many minutes all of the other teachers on Skillshare are being watched compared to what you are, your watch time is, will depend on how much you get paid. So they have a specific algorithm that calculates, again, total watch time of the whole platform, and then based on that, it's kind of like a ratio of how much you get watched versus how much the other teachers get watched, and then you get paid accordingly. Okay, so that's basically how it works, and there are a lot of other things that they require. Okay, so for example, there are exceptions, right? So for example, you must accrue at least 75 total minutes watch time by members across all of your published classes in a month in order to receive a payment for that month. So that means that if you have a total watch time of only 60 minutes, then you won't get paid out that month. All right. So there are requirements. Okay. So for example, trailer minutes are not counted towards your monthly payment, and minutes watched by students through a free access link through a free trial also do not count as minutes. All right, so that's important to understand. So they have a couple of exceptions, and based on that, that's kind of how they will pay out. All right, so let's talk a little bit about what the potential earnings are, and what it kind of looks like. Okay, so just coming back to this, and this is very important to understand, is that the way that Skillshare works is it's really based off the network, right? So because they're getting paid a single fee, $24 a year, from a user to use their platform, they've got hundreds of teachers on their platform. So everybody has to share all the revenue that comes from that pool, but it's 30% of their total revenue, not 100%, right? Now, based off of that 30%, it will really depend on how much exposure you get. So if I come into, for example, creative writing right here, and let's just say you have a creative writing course, right? Unfortunately, you're going to have to compete against all of the teachers that are already doing quite well. So they've got a featured section here under creative writing. Okay, you've got the popular ones as well, and it depends on whether how good you are, and also whether you're popular at all. So it depends on the quality of your classes. So that's really important. We'll talk about that in a second. And also, you're also unfortunately competing against all of these other teachers. Okay, so if you have people that are they've been here longer, maybe they've got more classes, because the more classes that you upload onto Skillshare, the higher the chances of you actually being watched, if that makes sense, right? Because there's only so much real estate on their page that they can have. If for example, if there are, if people come onto this page, if they don't click onto view all, they're not going to be able to view your class. They might just click on this one right here or this one right here. Obviously, these classes will definitely get more watch time than if people had to click into view all, right? So if you're a brand new teacher and you don't have, the clout or the quality yet, then your classes aren't going to show up on the top. They will probably show up on the bottom. And as you know, if your class shows up on page, let's just say 79 right here, the chances that somebody's going to watch your class is very, very low. Okay, like this one, for example. Okay, 73 students, an hour and 2 minutes long, 123 students. Again, you're not going to get maybe the minutes that you need in order for you to make the money that you want, per se. All right. So there's a couple of issues with Skillshare. If you are somebody that's very experienced and you've got an offline presence that you can kind of bring online, then a lot more people are going to follow you and watch your stuff. But if you're brand new, you've got no experience at all, then you might end up on page 75 or page 77 for your particular niche or topic, and you're not going to get as much exposure. And that's kind of the thing about about Skillshare, because you're competing against hundreds and hundreds of other teachers on the platform. Okay, another thing that you got to understand is that they're not just going to allow anyone to upload their content onto their website. Because this is a network-based teaching platform, you have to make sure that your quality is up there. Okay, so they require you to have specific quality. So for example, they only allow specific topics. Okay, they have a restricted topics list that you can check out here. There are minimum requirements for the length of the trainings. You need an introduction, you need a class project, you need it to be well organized, you need to meet all the minimum standards of audio and video quality. So that means that you need to have minimum hums, such as hums and fuzziness and crackling and echoes. You have to be able to speak properly. You have to have the recording equipment to be able to do this well. Okay, so if your quality is low, if you don't have a proper light, if you don't have a proper camera, if you don't have the proper software, you're not going to be able to become a teacher on Skillshare. Now, obviously, these are small issues that you can resolve very easily. You can buy the right equipment. It doesn't cost a lot of money. But just understand that there is a minimum requirement and quality before you can upload videos. You can't just slap something up randomly. It's got to be edited properly, professionally. It's got to look good. Okay, visual presentation is important. Okay, you need to avoid ramblings. You can't say excessive pauses. You gotta make it look good, right? You have to have professional talking head shots. You gotta have professional backdrops. The slides need to look good. That's really, really important. Okay, so just understand that if you want to become a teacher on Skillshare, there is a certain quality that they require, which is only natural. Okay, so again, the big question is it worth your time, and how much are you really going to make? Okay, so remember again that only the top teachers earn $100,000 a year. If you are brand new to the platform, what could you expect to make? It really depends. It depends on how many courses you upload onto Skillshare. If you only upload one, the chances of you earning $100,000 a year is very slim. I would say you're looking more at maybe $1,000 a month or less. Okay, that's about $10,000 a year. The more you upload, the more clout that you get, the more content that you create, the better that your courses are, the more money that you're going to make. Okay, so if you're brand new and you upload one course, the chances are you probably won't make that much money, unfortunately, because as you've already seen, it's highly competitive. I mean, there's so many pages here, and this is just in the creative writing niche. You're going to have to compete against all of these people here. Your content is gonna, your classes are gonna get buried in all the other people that are already teaching on this platform. Okay, so the question is this worth your time? Are there better ways to do this? Well, the thing is, if you want to teach online, I still think the best way to do that is to have your own platform. That means that you upload your content on a platform like Kartra, and you generate your own leads and you lead people to your online training program. You're going to make way more money. It's actually pretty easy to get to $5,000 to $10,000 that way compared to uploading yourself onto a platform like Skillshare. But the disadvantage is you have to learn to become a great marketer. Okay, that means you have to create, checkout pages, you have to create sales pages, you have to learn to generate traffic. The skill set is a lot higher in order for you to generate that kind of money if you want to sell on your own platform outside of Skillshare. The great thing about Skillshare is that you can leverage their network. Okay, that means that they've got a lot of eyeballs here already, but the problem is that you're competing against all the other teachers, and because the way they pay out is based on minutes viewed, you might not get your course viewed that much, unfortunately. Okay, that's the only disadvantage. All right, so there are pros and cons with using Skillshare. I think it's a great platform. I mean, if you're a user of the platform, it's very cheap. They've got a lot of good lessons and content, right? But as a teacher wanting to sell your course and make money from this platform, I think it's a little bit challenging unless you're here for the long term and you upload a lot of different courses onto their platform. That's one of the ways that you can leverage it, but that's going to take you time, okay? Because it's going to take you time to grow your courses, and you need to know a lot. You have to have a lot of information on teaching all sorts of different classes on here. All right, so that's what I would say about Skillshare. It's good and bad. There are pros and cons, but certainly you are not going to start earning $100,000 from your first course. You gotta spend the time doing it a lot, uploading lots of courses, and then potentially over time you might slowly get to higher income levels, if that makes sense. So I hope you enjoyed this review of Skillshare. That's my review right there. There's good and bad points, obviously, but overall as a platform, it's pretty solid, okay? But if you're here watching this video right now and you would like to find out how I was able to get to multiple six figures online, again, through learning how to market and through teaching people what I know from my head, I've got a free six-figure workshop that you can check out if you want. You can register for free just by clicking the link directly below in the description box or the comment section, and I'm going to show you the strategy that I've leveraged to generate way more than $100,000 a year, and you can just model this if you would like and do exactly the same thing. I hope you enjoyed this review of Skillshare, and see you on another video.